Strumming patterns are a point of difficulty with a lot of my beginner students. Today we're going to talk about how you should approach learning strumming patterns. We're going to use a chord progression that I taught in another video, so be sure to check that video out. For today, we're going to assume that the song that you're attempting to learn is in 4/4, which is probably the most common time signature. For more in-depth one-on-one lessons on strumming patterns and different time signatures, be sure to hop onto my website and fill out the form. First, let's talk about the intention of a strumming pattern. With our left hand, we are fretting notes, we're fretting chords, so this is taking care of the harmonic and melodic aspect of whatever song we're playing. With our right hand, we're strumming. So what this is doing is this is taking care of the rhythmic aspect of the song that we're playing. So when we talk about strumming patterns, we're really talking about rhythm. To demonstrate today, I'm going to break out my trusty metronome app. So I've got it set to the time signature being 4/4, and I have it set to 90 beats per minute. When I start my metronome, it's going to count the quarter notes. So there are 4 beats in a measure, and you can hear the new measure starting with the higher sounding tick. To count quarter notes, we use numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now there are larger divisions of the beat, like half notes and whole notes, but to talk about strumming patterns, we're actually going to go the other way, so we're going to talk about the smaller division of the beat. So the next smallest subdivision of the beat is the 8th note. And to count 8th notes, we're going to place an and between every number. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The smallest division of the beat that we're going to talk about today is the 16th note. So the way that I would count the 16th note is by placing an E before the and an after the and. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and. Now that we know how to count the beat, how to count 8th notes, and how to count 16th notes, let's pick up the guitar. First, let's start by strumming quarter notes. Each beat is going to get a downstroke. We can add 8th notes one of 2 ways. The first way is to strike the strings on the way back up, which would be an upstroke. So this strumming pattern is keeping the beat, but rhythmically it's not very interesting. To make it a little more interesting, let's take out some of the subdivisions. I'd recommend doing this for a slower, less busy song where the 8th note is the smallest subdivision. Here's an example. So I could play that same strumming pattern, but like this. I would not recommend doing that. So the act of keeping my hand moving is going to take a lot of guesswork out of keeping time. So when you're playing guitar, most of the time you're performing, whether it's for your friends or whether it's for a large audience, a lot of the time you're not going to have a metronome. So by keeping your arm moving, that's keeping time for you. This is becoming your metronome. Here's another pattern utilizing upstrokes for the 8th note. If the strumming pattern gets busier, we want to speed up our strumming hand and play the 8th notes as downstrokes. So now if we want to play 16th notes, they'll happen on the upstrokes. Let's play the same chord progression, but each chord will only get half the measure. Like we did with the eighth notes, let's keep our hand moving, but let's choose to take out a couple subdivisions. Here's an example. Let's go back to playing one chord per measure, and let's play a different example. You can use these principles to play a variety of strumming patterns. The biggest takeaway is to figure out what the smallest subdivision of the beat is and keep your arm moving. If you found this video to be helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching.